How many times have we heard about a game and it's like, oh, the shit's fucking it runs crap on consoles. It runs even worse on PC. Guys have like fucking rigs that people dream of and they can barely this thing crashes and blue screens their PC and it's just like, oh,
Well,
there goes $70 down the drain.
well, that's expected of PC. What's good, folks? Welcome to Logicast, the Logical Gamers podcast. It's your boy Esoteric, and the footage that you just saw was taken from last week's topic about Silent Hill F playing like a Souls game. The conversation got derailed because of a comment that I made and became a whole different discussion that was had. For the full context, tune into last week's episode. So without further ado, enjoy. Unfortunately, I mean, like, they can't account for all the different rigs. Like, this is why I don't play PC games
I'm
like that. You
I'm
know,
not
um,
I'm
huh?
not giving any excuses.
No. It's
I'm
not
not
about
a,
giving excuses, but this has always been the trend when it came to games since like the dawn
Not
of games on
always, not
PC.
not
I've
on
always.
PC.
mm,
Nah, like there were games that came out that worked on PC. It's just now when we live in a world where I can just patch my game via the
That's what's
internet.
that's why I'm not giving it no longer excuses, because now we're in a day and age where you can sell me half a game now, and me as the sucker is going to come in and buy said game for full price, and you take your sweet time, years and years or months and months and months, patch 2, patch 3, patch 2.0, patch 2.5, patch 3 point, like, it shouldn't be patches,
no. I get your point when it comes to that.
like
I'm speaking more
patches.
so
Mm,
from like PC's perspectives, right? Because okay, here's the thing, right? For consoles, completely understandable. Like if we have to deal with all these stupid ass patches from day one, like 0 day patches, whatever, that's annoying because every console is essentially the same. Every PS3, all the components that they have for the PS5, 3, whatever, are the same components that everybody has within their household. If you purchase a PS5, those are the components you get. PC, unfortunately, is a bit different. Like you have different graphics cards from different companies who have different builds that they have to account for. Then you have different storage, different RAM, all these other components. Like it's an ensemble of different things. So I'm not alleviating blame from them. I'm just saying that this is something that has been known, which is why I shy away from playing on PC because I know that if I were to buy a game that I'm really interested in day one or whatever, then chances are I'm not going to be able to play it day one. So for those people who are interested in playing a game day one and can, you know, stop it can like lose the whole graphics because let's be real, the reason why people play on PC is mostly for graphics and mods, right? If you can relinquish those two things and actually get a console, then you will be okay. But more than likely, you're gonna have trouble on PC. Again,
Mm,
not giving companies any leeway,
and
but that's
I
usually the
still think
trend.
it's a leeway thing. I still think it's a
Hey,
leeway. I'm not, like I said again, I'm not, I am over the understanding aspect when it comes to these things. I'm over that. I'm over understanding what a company, what they're doing. I am I'm completely over it. You know why? Because let's take our also lovely, friendly neighborhood Nintendo, for example, who is okay with releasing a game at $80 for the general mass to find and have to play, but yet still come out with these half-ass titles, or a system that is barely an upgrade to what they've had for the last 5 years, and still it's okay to add on an extra $200 or $300 or however more money they added on to the Switch too, and then turn around and control the way I use my console, or brick my console because they don't like what I do with my console. Let's I'm over the I'm over the PS5 coming out for what, how many years now? 6 years now? Nothing, and have the audacity to introduce a PS6, and you barely have anything on the PS5? You spent 5 years doing nothing with the console. You rode on the coattail of it being a PlayStation. And I don't know what the hell Xbox is doing,
It's
because they might
gambling.
Yeah, so like I am over the whole, oh well, let's understand this bullshit. That's all
I get
bullshit.
what you're saying, but I
What I'm
think
saying
we're
is,
arguing
what I'm
two different
saying is, we're
aspects.
no, what I'm saying
It
is, I'm over the idea of, well, PC games can come with their issues because sometimes the PC has an issue running the rigs, or have an issue reading this, or reading this code, or reading, if said player does this, then game will do this. Figure it out.
y-
Figure it out. Once you figure it out, then you give it to the market.
yes,
Figure it
okay.
out.
So here's the thing, and we are going on a tangent here. When you have a particular console, if you have a PS5, you have Microsoft, you have Nintendo, those components are all the same. The only way for companies to understand what's going on in the market in the PC world is to be reactive, because their ensemble of components are vastly different. My build is probably different from Kong's build versus Gunner's build. So yes, they do have to account for everything, but it's going to be rather difficult. Now, if there are a majority people that are experiencing issues, yes, that's absolutely a problem. But all I'm saying is, in its entirety, that the likelihood of fixing whatever's going on with PC is way more difficult than console. Console, you already know your components, you already know the specs. If that doesn't work and we're having issues, that's a problem. But
So
PC
what you're
is
saying
different.
is true. Like it's emphatically true.
It is
However,
emphatically true. It is.
what Wolf is getting at is what and you correct me if I'm wrong. Your attitude and your charitable demeanor is being taken advantage of, and they're walking to the bank laughing while fucking you over as a consumer, and that's unacceptable. And so Wolf's stance, correct me if I'm wrong, Wolf's stance is fuck it, I'm done being charitable. You make it work or you don't get my money. That's what it is. It's kind of
That's my
like if you had a
stance.
it's kind of like if you had a contractor, right? And you contracted somebody to, remodel your kitchen or something like that, right? And let's say you have, you know, insider knowledge to know, okay, based on what I want this person to do, this is a 3-day job. And let's say it's gonna I don't know how much that will cost, but like let's just
Okay.
say it's a 3-day job. You're getting
Okay.
your cabins done or something, and the contractor's like, well, you see, the market right now to get lumber, I don't want to hear any of that. Can you do it in the 3 days that I'm giving you for the price that I'm setting? It's a yes or no. Can you do the job or not? Or I'm going to find somebody else, right? Like if you are too understanding, people take advantage of it, and they walk all over you. And so that's kind of where we're at now, where we've accepted too much bullshit from the video game industry, and from development teams and corporate and all that, and now they're running all over us. In 2013 or 2012, when the Xbox One was being launched, they got a lot of backlash. Fast forward 12 years, 13 years later, they're all the practices that they were talking about implementing have become standard, or becoming the standard, and there is no pushback. Because of why? Well, you got to understand that companies need to make money, and like making all these excuses. And so now they're like, oh, look at these guys making excuses for us. Great, keep making excuses, influence everybody else, make everybody submissive, and now, okay, great. Now we're gonna give you what we want to give you. And guess what? As a company, we want to maximize our bottom line. So we're gonna give you the bare minimum for the minimal effort, for the minimal investment, and you're gonna take it because, well, you understand, small company, right? We got to pay the bills, right? Meanwhile, CEOs and executives are getting $10 million bonuses. I don't want to hear it. Like I'm with Wolf on this one. Fuck y'all. If y'all can't do the job, I don't want anything to do with you. You're not getting my money. You could tell this other idiot or whoever what they want to hear, and you can give me all the excuses. I'm not signing the check. You're not getting my money. Fuck you. That's where I'm at too. So
I get it, but I'm not telling anybody to give their money away. What I'm saying is that,
no, but you're being an apologist, and I'm not accepting that.
but okay. I
You're
mean,
defending them. You're defending them.
Yeah, because to say like, oh, your game, it's okay that your game is unoptimized because there's different PC rigs. Like, it's there is a spectrum of PC, but there should be a middle ground where a low end PC and a mega high end PC could meet in the middle and the game operates well. Like that's not what we have. We have like grossly unoptimized games to the point where nobody can play it, and the only reason console can play it is because it is a stable platform. But yet they still charged you $70 for it. Like
I
that.
give an example. The example is like I'm gonna give two different examples. Mobile games when they come out, like for instance, I play Honkai Star Rail. Honkai Star Rail, when you download it, it specifically says to you if you're playing anything older than an iPhone 13, you are going to run into issues. You are going to run into issues because
Mm-hmm.
the older model iPhones, the game is not optimized to play. Can you
I got an
download it?
iPhone 8 because fuck that.
It would
That
never
thing's
play on an
actually
iPhone 8. But if you had
cool.
an iPhone 11, you can play it, but you're going to run into crashing, slowing down frames, the game is freezing, or just taking forever to load. But the company understands that there are people with different phones of different levels, and not everyone can really afford an iPhone 13, 14, 15, or 16 to play their game. So what they do is if you're downloading it on an older model, the game attempts to compress itself so that you can play it. That's one example. The other example is Monster Hunter Wilds. Till this day, after 3 monster downloads, after 3 patch updates, after all these balancing, Monster Hunter Wilds still has trouble running on a PC. That's not fair to PC players. It
I'm
isn't fair.
I'm not saying it's fair to
It-
PC
now
players.
now I understand the point of like, for instance, PCs are like people, right? There's so many different specs, there's so many different models out there, there's so many different things that people can afford to put into a PC because not everybody makes the same money, right? Like our friend, his PC setup looks like a whole Gundam cockpit. Not everybody can afford that. But
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying is you have to know how to figure it out so that it runs even on a standard on where you expect that most of the market can afford or at least be able to attain. If you can't ascertain that data, especially in today's day and age, and fix it within a timely fashion or fix it before it even comes out, then what you're saying to me is, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you this slop. I'm going to give you this tasteless food. And every bite you take, I'll add a little bit of salt. Every bite you take, I'll add a little pepper. Every bite you take, I will probably get fancy and put a little paprika on it. That's horrible. That's like, can you imagine you go to a restaurant and you order a prime steak, and as you're eating the steak, the waiter is standing over you and it's like, okay, you just took a bite. Here's a little seasoning. Take another bite. Okay, here's a little seasoning. Would you even stay there? You'd get up and leave. You would get up and leave. So Monster Hunter Wilds still has issues running on a PC, on PC in general. And that's what hurt the PC population for Monster Hunter Wilds. If you look at the Monster Hunter Wilds PC population now, it's vastly lower than what it was when it first came out. And people aren't dropping it because Monster Hunter, like we will say the fan base treats Monster Hunter like a flavor of the game kind of thing. That's not the only reason why people are walking away from it. They're walking away from it too because they spend $70 on a game and the game don't work. But yet, Chris was introduced. This monster was introduced. That monster's introduced. They're introducing a whole new difficulty coming out in a couple weeks. They're introducing this whole talisman system. They're revamping it in a couple weeks. The weapons are getting rebalanced in a couple weeks. But PC players, I read the comment. Yeah, I play on PC and I still can't play this. That is
It's
So
like to add to
horrible.
So
what you're saying. Let me just add this like
yeah, yeah.
example.
Go.
It's
okay.
like a restaurant. Like you were using the restaurant analogy. It's like if you go to a restaurant, like a sit-in restaurant, like whatever. a steakhouse or something like this, and you order your stuff, you order your entree. They start you off with like breadsticks or something like this. They'll ask you about appetizers. They'll give you the appetizers. Let's say the appetizers are the teaser trailers and the demos and the betas and the blah blah blah. Right? Cool. Oh, this appetizer is pretty good. Oh yeah, I'm ready to order my entree. You order a steak or with the side or whatever, and this fucking waiter or this waitress comes in talking about some dessert. Where the fucking steak? Like that's what it is. She came out with the fucking the mashed potatoes and the fucking broccoli and all this other stuff, and I'm like, where's the steak? Oh, you have to understand, sir. It's busy. It's rush hour. You know, the market right now for steaks is kind of volatile. Like, I ordered a steak 20 minutes ago. Where's the steak? That's what it feels like to be a gamer now. And what you're doing is you're being like, I understand, no problem. 40-minute wait, no problem. Like, yes, it is a problem.
No. What I am
That is
saying,
what you're doing.
no, what I am doing essentially is,
Go ahead.
if I'm sitting at,
Backpedal.
if I'm no, I'm not backpedaling at all, because I stated this. Okay, if I'm sitting at said restaurant and they're not giving me what I want, and this has been the trend, I'm going to another restaurant. Why are you still playing on PC if you're still having these issues? This has been a constant trend, not just with Monster Hunter, but with countless other games.
So
Play
what I'm
on
hearing,
console.
You tell me.
Play
what
on
you're
console.
telling me is, don't eat food. Don't eat out.
I'm not saying don't eat food. What I'm saying is
That's the
play on.
equivalent.
What I'm saying is
That's
find
the
it. No, it's not equivalent. The equivalent is find an alternative.
So
If I can't play Monster Hunter Wilds on my PC, and this has been an ongoing,
You gotta
and
play
this
the bum ass PS5 version.
and this,
Cool. Cool.
if
Yeah,
you
that's
if you
what
really if you really want to play it, right? If you really want to play it,
so are you
Yeah.
saying
what else
that,
are you gonna do?
You know,
that's unacceptable.
that's
so if
taking
I bought a
Okay.
PC and it
Okay.
meets, and I look at Capcom specs and these say these are the minimum requirements, the minimum to play this game, and I meet the minimum requirements to play the game by your own Capcom, by their own metrics. This is the minimum requirements,
Mm-hmm.
and I can play this. I'm not playing this on ultra high settings. I'm playing this on low because I meet the minimum requirements.
Mm-hmm.
And I spend $70 on your game, and your game does not run on my PC, even though I meet the minimum requirements. That's my fault?
No, I'm not saying it's your fault, right? Okay, here's what I'm saying. If you put,
You're not
if-
saying that that's his fault, but answer the question: is it his fault?
no, it's not his fault.
So
It's
so
not-
how
So
is the
whose fault-
answer?
So whose
ju-
fault is it?
It's
It is
Capcom's
it is the
fault.
company's fault, but this is okay. This is what I'm saying, right? You put your hand on said stove and you get burned. Are you going to put your hands back on said stove again and get burned? Are you going to do it again? No.
How are you comparing buying a PC to game to putting your hand on the stove that you already know is hot, or you learn that it's hot? How are you supposed to buy a PC knowing, oh well, I know that game development is difficult, and it's more difficult for a
Because
game
that has
developer.
always happened.
That's
in this day,
bullshit.
in this day and
That's
age,
bullshit.
it's always. So
That's
you're
bullshit.
gonna okay. So
That's
you're
bullshit.
so by your logic, by your logic is
Go ahead,
okay.
let's hear it.
I have my computer. Yes, it's supposed to play, absolutely, but it's not playing, and there's been a whole bunch of games that have not been playing. So what I'm going to do is continue to buy these games, expecting it to play on my console, knowing that they don't work day one. You're gonna continue
Okay,
to buy into
I mean,
that.
if you buy a car, all cars run on gas, and you buy the one brand of car that somehow has a hard time running on gas, it's your fault that you bought a car that was advertised to work with gas. What? If you make a product for a particular platform, it is expected to work. Period. If it doesn't work, that's a fucking problem because you falsely advertised something to me. You didn't deliver on your end.
It is a problem.
That's simple.
I
It's that simple.
acknowledge that it is a problem, but it's also a problem to continuously buy into it. Is it not?
I agree with
But
that.
that's all I'm
sure.
saying. That's all I'm saying. If you're eager to,
Yeah,
you're
but
eager
yours-
to play something,
But as hard as you're defending it, it comes off as like you're apologizing and defending billion-dollar or million-dollar corporations, which is ridiculous.
but that's not okay. Here's the thing. I provided a reason as to why this may be the case. Then I proceeded to say, if you want to play said game, and given the correlation of games, because there's been not just Monster Hunter Wilds, there's been countless games that have not been working on PC.
Sure, 100%.
Why continue buying games for your rig? If you really
So
want to play the games, then you have to get a console because unfortunately you're gonna miss out on all the things that you.
nah.
I,
Instead
I
of
mean, hey, we'll agree to
instead of
disagree.
instead of me paying more money, because that's what it is. Instead of me paying more money because the company is so grossly fucking incompetent that they can't make the game, and there are people out there that go, it's okay, they're gonna patch it in 3 months and it'll get really good by then, and then you'll have a good game, but still give them $70. That company should be called out at every single turn, and it should be booed
No,
and bombed until the point where they get their shit together. Not,
you are
oh, all right.
absolutely wholeheartedly right. I agree with you. My question is, what do you do if you want to play the game now? If you're like, well, it's not working on my PC, I'm upset about that. I paid this money. I'm pissed off at the company for it. They need to fix this shit right away, which I absolutely agree with you. You as a consumer, if they're providing you something day one, you're absolutely supposed to expect it to work day one. But if you having all these issues on your PC with a game and you like, oh damn, I really want to play this game right now. Are you going to continue to bitch at the company for them not fixing this, or are you going to kind of
Well,
circumvent
well,
and
I
buy a
you
think
should do
console and
both.
play?
the
You should do
best,
both.
right? The
That's all I'm
best thing
saying.
is, I think the best thing is to one, buying another console if you really want to play the game that bad. I don't think is a very fiscal smart idea. I think you need to hold the company accountable at that moment and demand your money back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then
Yeah.
after
Uh-huh.
that, create. Then
And I
after
have an
that,
example, but I'm gonna let
you,
we'll
hmm,
finish. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
what you do is, and it's gonna take like I didn't read any cases of anybody asking their money back for Monster Hunter Wilds that played on the PC. And I'm sure for the amount of player base that was impacted on spending the money but unable to play the game, if they had just pushed back on the company more, not only would Capcom probably have pushed on, you know, giving their refunds back, but would have jumped on actually trying to fix Monster Hunter for the PC. Now, what it does is sets out a whole example to other companies saying, "Hey, we want to put this game on PC, but we got to get it as close to correct as possible."
Mm-hmm.
And because if we don't, players are now willing to push back and fight for their money back. And this is money we need. This is money we need to pay our employees. This is money we need to put in our pockets. So again, I do agree with some of the points you're saying, but when you say these words, when you say, I understand PC because PC has an issue running games, when you say those words, you think about perspective. When you think about perspective, the perspective that I will take is those words being put together in a sentence makes it sound like you're defending the fact that it's okay if a game doesn't run well on the PC because it's natural for the PC to have problems running games. Two, you give the company an out argument. Because if, say, we were in a courtroom and you were some big time intellectual lawyer, and I'm some big time intellectual lawyer, and we were like, this company has no idea what kind of argument to go with. The moment you say that, automatically you're giving them, oh yeah, 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 yeah. Let's run with that. Let's run with that. Yeah, it's the PC's problem. It's your fault. It's your fault that you can't afford a master race PC. But at the end of the day, it's the company's fault because you're the one who's putting the video games on the console. I buy the console. The PC is a console or a machine that is engined or designed to play games. If I buy a PC because I want to play games on PC, and you're a company that says, "Hey, can we have your $70 and we'll give you this product that's going to run on your PC?" I expect it to run on the PC. I don't expect that I have to now get up, go to an electronics store, spend another $500 on a whole nother console, another $70 on a whole nother game just to be able to play online or just to be able to play the game in general. That's not fair to the consumer base. So it's a sense of perspective. So while you understand that it's wrong, when the sentence comes out of anybody's mouth, really, or when anybody says a sentence like that, it really doesn't matter what their stance is at that given moment. The perspective is you are defending them by saying, yeah, I can understand that because PC has issues naturally. And that's not how it should be, because it's supply. You're supplying me with a product, I'm supplying you with my funds. That means that if you feel like your product is worth $70 and I feel like your product is worth $70 and I give it to you, I'm expecting my $70 to be worth it. I'm expecting that product to be worth every red cent of that $70. Now, you sell me something for $70 and I play it and it's like, well, I can't play it. So right now I just wasted $70. Or B, the game doesn't run so great. So I feel like I really only should have paid $20. You as a consumer is going to feel cheated. You're going to feel disgusted. You're going to feel like you was bamboozled into it, because the whole advertisement was, yes, this game is going to run perfect. It's getting great reviews. You're going to be able to play it on the console that you choose to play it on, which is PC or Xbox or Sony or PlayStation. But then when you get it for your choice of how you choose to entertain, to enjoy that entertainment or that median, and the company underdelivers even after several patches, they continue to underdeliver. It's no longer an excuse of, oh well, it's natural for this machine to have issues with games. That's not the excuse anymore. Run your data. Why do PC players have a hard time running games? What is going on with video games, or what are we putting out on the market? Why PC is having issues running it? Okay, let's tackle these issues before we even give it to the PC players. When Rise came out, not Rise, Sunbreak came out, they waited almost 2 years for PC players to get Sunbreak. Sunbreak ran just fine. No, I don't recall reading any articles of Sunbreak having issues. And if
No.
it did have issues, correct me if Sunbreak had issues. But when Sunbreak came out on the PC, I didn't read comments of people complain about it. People praised it because it was prettier. They were able to do their little mods and stuff like that. And this seemed like the game ran fine. Why, like, you see the correlation there? It's like now you have Wiles, and after like almost, what, 6 months? And you still into, like, it's today's standards, not back in the early 2000s, not back when, or even back in like 2010, 2012, 2015, not those time, today's standard. You have the resources for the data. You have the resources to understand what's going on. Make it work. I should not have more specs than what the standard game is asking for and still can't play it. That doesn't make sense. So even if I was completely against the company, but I said, yeah, I can understand why the game doesn't work on that console, because that console has an issue running games on it. Right there, that gave the executive or the CEO who allowed the game to come out or to be released to go, yeah, let's run with that. Let's run with that. Let's run with that. When in reality, they didn't really give two shits about us. They just knew that they wanted it on the market as fast as possible because they wanted their money as fast as possible.
Yeah,
That's my point.
I get your point. I get your point. And again, like I said, I agree with all those points. If a company is producing something and it expected that once you receive the contents that you're purchasing, it should work day one. Absolutely. Again, absolutely agree with you. No contest. You got it. I'm a consumer as well. If I buy something, I'm expecting it to be the way that it was intended for me when I purchased it. If I'm buying a set of cards and they say that there's 12 and there's 11, I am going to make a big stink about it. If I buy, if I, like you guys made an analogy of eating at a restaurant. If I eat at a restaurant and I'm not getting the service that I was expected and it's subpar, I am going to make a big stink about it, right? I'm speaking more so from like the perspective of people who are continuously they're having these bad experiences and they're continuing to buy into this thing. If you know that because you spoke about Masa and Sunbreak, which it did run well. I didn't hear any bad things about it. Um, but I heard bad things about Spider Man. Was it Spider Man 1, the first one? I heard bad things about God of War. I heard bad things about a couple of other games that came out on PC. PC specifically, where they had nothing but issues. And it was constant issues. Are they supposed to make a big stink about it? Absolutely. Like, it is your right because you bought something, especially $70. That's incredibly expensive. You put a lot of money into your rig, depending upon, those people who are enthusiasts with PCs. They got like the latest RAM, the latest hardware, so on and so forth. Absolutely. It's your absolute right to complain about what it is that you're purchasing. But if you're seeing the correlation that these games are not playing to your liking, they're playing like shit. You can't even get it to run. My argument is, why are you continuously buying these games for this? If you really want to play said game, then unfortunately you're gonna have to bite the bullet. You're going to have to go into your finances and buy a console. Why? Because it's easier to play those games on. This is from the premise of
Fuck
you
that.
wanting to play that. Go
Buying the
ahead.
console is not the
Fuck that.
buying the
Fuck
console
that.
is not
So
the
there's three things I
answer.
need to say.
Go
I
ahead.
need to write it down because I was gonna forget.
Okay.
And this is how you know companies are full of shit. I mean, we all knew that already, but here's an example.
Mhm.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor was initially developed for PS5, Xbox, I think PC.
Okay.
And the people were upset that there wasn't going to be a PS4 or Xbox One version. And EA specifically said, well, due to the game and its code and how it's built and all this, it just can't run on a PS4. We just can't do it. You understand? It just can't be done. So you're just going to have to buy PS5. Sorry. You're just going to have to, like, if you're a Star Wars fan, you're just going to, to tap into fucking the Borderlands 4 controversy from a few weeks ago. If you're a real fan, you'll just find a way, right?
Mhm.
Fuck that, right? And what happened a year later? What
Oh, I
happened a year
remember
later?
that.
Oh, it came out on
Yes.
PS4. Why? Why? Because sales were stagnant for that game. Because the sales were just a little too soft. So they
Okay.
I
found a
remember
way
that.
miraculously within a year to release it on PS4. Why? Well, because there's such a large install base on PS4, and that's an untapped market. And what did the fucking executives tell their development team? I'm pretty sure. Hey, we need our sales. You didn't
Okay.
make a game good enough to push PS5. We're not hitting our fucking quotas. You motherfuckers need to make it work
Mhm.
now. And guess what happened? It came out. Did it work perfectly? No, but it worked well enough.
Okay.
So I don't want to hear. Let me just finish. I don't want to hear the whole. Well, you got. I don't. I don't need. I don't. I'm not interested in your understanding. No, make it work. When I was working, when any of us was working, I don't know about y'all, but you have to understand, was unacceptable. These are the expectations. You produce results or you're out.
Okay.
That's it. And the last thing, and I don't have specific examples, but there are dozens, hundreds probably of examples of people fixing the very games that they've purchased from other companies. We're talking just regular Joe Schmoes that know how to code.
Yeah. Mhm.
They fixed the games that they purchased overnight or over the course of a weekend. Oh yeah, you just had to change the shaders, or you had to turn this off, or oh, I went into the code and
Mhm.
why are amateurs and just regular people fixing your games when you've had years to fucking develop and push this product out, and you charge people the maximum amount that you can charge for something that's half baked? Are you fucking insane? And I'm supposed to sit here, roll over, and just buy another console, bro? No, absolutely not. I will not buy another console. I am going to bitch, and you're gonna fucking hear it, and you're gonna, not you specifically, but the
Yeah, I know that.
companies and those who are responsible are gonna fucking hear it, and they're gonna get review bombed, and they're gonna get fucking ridiculed and shitted on the internet because that's the only power we have. And if they fucking close out, then it is what it is. If Capcom eats a shit sandwich because of what they pulled with Monster Hunter Wilds, I'm not shedding a tear. Oh, somebody lost their job? Make a better game next time. I'm sorry. I don't care anymore. I'm done with the understanding. I'm fucking finished with it because we've been taken advantage of too long, and it's always something else. It's always a new thing. Let's just see if this dildo will fit up their ass, and they'll take it because gamers just what they know how to do is roll over and take it, or they'll walk away if they get too tired. But they'll come back. Fuck that. I'm done with that shit. So I can't, I understand what you're coming from, but I can't accept it. I'm done. I'm over it. I can't accept it. Unacceptable. Get it to work or fuck off. That's my stance.
Yeah, and again, I get your point. That is your stance. But there are people that's like under those same sentiments, but it's like, but I really want to play the game right now, and it's not working
So
on my
so take
PC.
take it up the ass.
That's what
Right?
I'm
Take it
saying.
up the
That's
ass.
that's
I
all
don't.
I'm
Take it up
saying.
the ass, but bitch while doing it.
But
But
that's
the
that, but
And
that's all I'm
proper,
saying. That's all I'm saying.
the proper,
that's
the
not all you're
proper
saying. You're also
answer,
apologizing for them and you're defending them. That's what you're
I
doing
the
too.
but it
proper
it
answer for
You
it is to
so
hold the company accountable. You just have to hold the company accountable. Not buying a new console is not gonna buying a new console isn't gonna fix the problem. It isn't
That's only
because
adding to the problem, if anything.
that's
but
adding to the well, you're gonna go back to the
it's
PC eventually.
it's not even that. A lot of people that are getting fucked over on PC are people that saying, "Bro, my system meets the specs that you, the company, have shared." It's not like, "Oh, I'm running the game on Windows Vista, but I want to play Cyberpunk." That's okay. Okay, that's you asking for too much. It with Monster Hunter case, it's like the specs you Capcom released to the public official, not some guy on Reddit.
hmm
You guys said my PC can play this because my PC meets all of these requirements and more, and my game still doesn't run well. At that point, it is not the PC player's fault. It is the company's fault for releasing an unoptimized piece of shit game. And it's people that go, "Don't worry, bro. They're gonna patch it. It's gonna get better once it's patched." It's those apologists that enable the companies to release the game in the shit state that they're releasing in. I cannot abide by that. And just to say, it's not even, again, like I said, it's not even the people going, "Oh, but I really want to play this game really, really, really bad." It's no, you said I can play this game and you lied to me, but still charge me 70 and don't want to give me my money back. So I can't accept that. I just can't. I can't accept that. The just get a console, bro. I can't accept that
I'm I'm not
as a viable strategy.
I'm not saying to accept it, but given the correlation of games that are not working on PC, yet you're saying you're constantly being lied to, but yet you're
Can I
continuously
ask you a
buying the
question?
games.
How is
What?
it that you could say that?
What do you mean? How is that? I
How,
could say that.
how how in one breath you could say, well, if you really want to play the game, guess what? Bite the bullet, and you're gonna have to buy a console to get the most stable experience. That's what these are your words. And then in the next breath, be like, well, I agree with you guys, but I don't understand how you could like play both sides. Like, how
It's
can you
how
not?
is it how okay, here's the thing. How is it playing both sides if I'm saying that I absolutely agree with you guys on the fact that the company should be held accountable for their actions. However, if you still want to play the game right now, because there are people who bitch and complain about the game not working and still want to play, that unfortunately the only alternative is to buy a console and play the game. You're
No,
gonna
the
sit.
other
You're gonna sit
alternative.
there and
No,
wait.
the
No,
other
no, no. You're
alternative is
gonna
to
sit there.
firebomb them.
You could firebomb them,
The,
but that does
al-
not satiate the fact that you want to play the
the
game right now, does it?
alternative
Does
is
it?
the
That's all I'm
alternative.
saying.
The
Okay.
alternative is to hold the company accountable,
But you
not buying another game.
you
That
are
is not
holding
an
the
alternative.
okay.
That's not an alternative because the company already got my $70. They don't care what I do with the game afterwards.
Yeah, how am I
They
going to
already
hold them
got it.
accountable by giving them more money by buying it
Right.
on PlayStation 5?
Right.
If
So
anything, I'm
now
rewarding their
I just gave,
incompetence.
Well,
I
what
gave
Daryl's saying is
Capcom
like,
a
well,
hundred and
just walk away at that point. Just roll
No,
over
what
and
I
leave.
what I
Yes.
no, what I'm saying is this.
no.
What I'm
That's what
saying
I'm getting.
Listen, what I'm saying is this, right? Because
Okay, go ahead.
what you guys are taking and running away with is that I'm saying, oh, excuse the company for all the actions that they're taking and how they're giving us a shit sandwich. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you have these constant issues with your PC, right? And you see that the masses are enjoying the games that you enjoy on consoles, and every time that you buy a game on PC, there's always some type of issue. There might be you might have to pivot if you really want to play those games. It sucks, absolutely. It definitely does suck because you got this outstanding rig with the intentions of you wanting to play said games that you enjoy, but unfortunately, they never run properly on this rig. So if you really want to play the game moving forward, do not buy any more games on PC. Maybe you might want to get a console. That is all I'm saying. I'm not saying to, you know, not shit on the companies for not doing a good job. Absolutely, because you should play on the console or whatever preference that you want to play on. Absolutely, I agree with y'all in that regard. But if you want to play the game, and you know you've been eating shit on PC for quite some time, from Cyberpunk to Spider
See, the
Man
difference
to
shit's
God
gonna
of War, play on the console. It
yeah.
runs.
What?
That's all I'm
But
saying.
There's less shit in that one.
But this is
Let's just
coming.
use
But
that
this
one.
is
I
coming from. This is for people who are basically like, okay, I'm upset with the company, but I still want to play this game. Ideally speaking, you should be the type of person, which I agree with you, is like, you know what? Every time I buy a game from y'all, this shit ain't working. I'm never doing it again. Ideally, that's how you should be. But if you're one of those people that's like,
I agree.
I really want to play Monster Hunter Wilds, but yet I still want to shit on them at the same time. Unfortunately, you're gonna have to do both.
It,
You
so
got
mm-mm,
you have
I'm
it's mm-mm.
so I'm
okay.
gonna shit on them by buying another copy of their game.
That's
I would
Okay,
say get a refund,
problematic.
get a
I
what
would
refund,
say,
Esoteric
and
is getting at is like if your desire to play the game is strong enough, then you're gonna have to just take just the less optimal solution and buy a console and play it that way. That's kind of what he's getting at, and I get it. Like I'm not saying that that's a bad solution. That was my solution. I got a PS5 strictly to play Monster Hunter when it came out because I knew that my PC wasn't going to be able to run it correctly, and Jesus Christ, was it not going to run it? Given that given that I know what I know now, but my main issue is this idea that like, oh well, these are your options, right? You can either kind of play a console version, which is not up to your standards, right? Because the standards change from person to person, and the PC player is accustomed to a certain experience, and they're not going
hmm
to want to downgrade to a PC. It's a downgrade.
yeah,
Okay, that's number one. Number two, you could just walk away. Don't buy the game. It's like, okay, like those aren't real solutions. Like the companies, and you're not going to disagree with this. And I'm not saying that you're disagreeing with this because you're getting a little hot. The companies should be held accountable. They should be doing better because they
yeah,
have done better in the past,
yeah,
right? The
absolutely.
real problem, the real enemy here
Are the
are
companies?
not just them. It's also the consumers that
it's
accept
the
it.
consumers too.
They hold as much responsibility as the companies pushing out the bad product. Is the
Agree.
slop enjoyers?
I
The
agree.
slop enjoyers are at fault, and the companies that are emboldened by the slop enjoyers are also at fault. They hold equal
I
responsibility, in my
agree.
opinion.
I agree.
I think we can all agree on that.
I agree.
And when you hold like a more defensive stance, it gets under my skin a little bit because I know that you're coming at it from a very charitable, understanding perspective, and that understanding and charitable perspective is just taken advantage of, and it's just lusted and made the standard. Like, well, you have to understand, and they'll peddle the fucking excuses to you because they've done it thousands of times. It's like, well, it's hard, guys. It's like, how much are you getting paid
It's
to
not
to,
hard.
to,
Yeah,
to, to direct this game, motherfucker? You're
It's not
getting
hard,
paid.
right?
yeah.
You're getting paid six figures. Fucking figure it out, bitch. Like, I don't want to hear
Yeah.
it's hard.
hmm
Figure it out, motherfucker. I'm
Yeah,
done with that.
that's what I'm saying. And my
So
I
that's
don't
I get it.
I
I
do
get
not
it.
I'll stop there.
agree.
I'll
I
stop
do not
there.
agree. I do not agree with. I do not agree with buying a new console as an alternate as your only option. I don't agree with it. The standard needs to be to hold companies accountable. When a company starts being held accountable, first and foremost, a part of
They'll
a
get their act together
company's
real fast.
financial right, a part of a company's financial tactical or tactics is their typically accounting department will watch the financial gain and losses of other companies. So with their competitors. So they'll take the financials of their competitors and compare it to their financials to see how they can change and how, the market trend is based on whatever product they're pushing out. So when you have a consumer base that says, okay, well, or when you train a consumer base and say, okay, well, it sucks that you can't play this game on your PC. Take $700 out of your account, put it towards another console, giving the company twice, or buying the game essentially twice to that said company. Other companies are going to look at it and say, okay, well, Capcom is doubling on the PC players jumping to consoles and buying the game over again, we don't need to fix anything. We can still continue to push the games the way we're pushing them. But when you change the player base mindset and you say, okay, well, instead of buying another console to buy the game again, you're going to push back and you're going to hold the company accountable. You're going to get your refunds. You're going to put out reviews. You are going to, the player base is going to drop. What that says to other companies when they look at, say, Capcom's trends and financials, because Capcom is a huge competitor to many companies, they're going to say, okay, well, Capcom lost a lot of funds here, whether it's 4%, 3%, 2% loss to a company is huge for them. It's huge for them. So when you look at it like that, what you start to do is you start to train the companies now to say, okay, well, we don't want to go down the same route that WoWs went down because the player base of WoWs fought back. By not fighting back is not buying a console and then buying the game again. That's not a proper solution. Financially, it's not a proper solution. It's not whether you have a
That's a
high desire or
temporary
not.
that's a temporary solution that
Right. That's
Esoteric
like
recommended in case your
right.
desire, trumped your
And if
principles as a consumer.
exactly, and I understand. I get I get it on the fact of it being temporary because you really want to play this game, but it's not a consensus that we should even allude to other players generally. We shouldn't say to other players like, hey, you really want to play Street Fighter 6, you ain't playing it on PC, you better go buy yourself a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox One. That because it doesn't create a long-term or an impactful solution. That's why I disagree with it. Even if you have the desire to want to play the game, if you have a desire to want to play the game, have the company hold the company accountable and let the company put out the necessary effort to satisfy you as the market. Everybody loves that there's that whole big saying like the customer is always right. I don't know what happened to that saying, but it's like the customers went from being the kind of consumers went from being generally having the mindset of pushing back to just having the mindset of accepting like, okay, this is my issue. I'm not going to fix this. Like, it's too much work to fix this issue in the long term. So I'm going to go with the short term. And the short term is clearing my bank account to not only buying the game twice, but putting my money in another company's, putting a large amount of money in another company's pocket for temporary enjoyment. Excuse me, I'm sorry. For temporary enjoyment. And that right there does not create a proper solution to the problem. It creates a temporary solution. It gets you high, but once you're off those clouds, your problem becomes your problem again. And the next game you buy, it's going to be the same issue again. So that's why I feel like it's not a correct issue. It's not a correct argument, not argument, solution. And that's why I can't that's why I would not say that, well, if you want to play the game that bad, this is what you have to do. Those words is never going to be my stance for anybody, no matter what their desire level is. I don't care how bad you want to play the game. I would never advise to someone, yeah, this is what you should do, or I'm sorry, but this is what, like, I'm sorry, but this is your only solution. If you want to buy the game day one, you have to, go back outside and, purchase something else because it doesn't show the company that you are you care enough to want to hold them accountable so that they can do better, so that other companies can do better, so that better products are pushed out there. We've become so complacent with um, short-term fixes or fixes that happens right away that we forget that short-term fixes or short-term solutions does not implement in any way or impact any way long-term solutions or long-term problems. And when you can tackle the long-term problem instead of focusing on the short-term problem, no matter how high your desire is, then that's when you'll start meeting grounds. That's when you'll start meeting grounds.
Well said.
That-
So, before any rebuttals, we have gone off the beaten path. We have fallen
Yeah,
off a cliff.
we
We have
definitely have.
teleported to a new dimension. So, I think we should close out here, and we could just close out the episode.
So there you have it, folks. This concludes this week's episode of Logicast, the Logical Gamers podcast. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and subscribe for more to follow. Also, let me know what your thoughts were about the topic in the comment section down below. We'd love to hear from you. And also subscribe to all of our social media platforms, as well as my Twitch channel, where I stream every Monday and Friday from 9 p.m. to 1 a.m. EST. So with that being said, folks, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. And remember, if it ain't gaming, it ain't logical, folks. Peace.